if this dog bites me, I swear I'm going to sue the entire shelter. I didn't intend to say it out loud, but the words slipped from my lips as I stood frozen before kennel number 19. Nearby, a janitor paused, raising an eyebrow in my direction. He's not going to bite, she stated plainly. He's just different. That word, different, hung in the air, having volunteered in enough shelters over the years. I understood what it implied. Different was code for either no one wants him or we've exhausted our explanations for why he's still here. Inside the kennel, the dog didn't bark or shift. He just stared. His fur was a scruffy mix of grays and browns, longer around the ears and patchy elsewhere, resembling a mop that was halfway becoming a wolf. One eye was clouded with age, while the other was sharp and golden. There was something in that eye, not fear, not hostility, but perhaps curiosity. I stepped a little closer. No growl, no flinch, just those eyes observing me. What's his name? I inquired of the woman. The tag says Reggie. He came in just like that. No chip, no history, just the name. Reggie didn't seem to fit. He looked more like a Winston, or maybe a Duke. But I wasn't there to rename dogs. I was there because I had told my brother I was ready to adopt again. 2 years had passed since I lost Rusty, my golden retriever. I never thought I'd feel ready again, but they say people heal. I crouched by the kennel and whispered, "Hey, Reggie." Nothing, not even a twitch of his tail. "I'll give you a moment," the janitor said as she walked away with her mop. I stayed low, studying him. He tilted his head slightly, and that's when I noticed a tag on his collar. It was not a standard one, but a round brass token, aged and worn like an old coin. I squinted and leaned in closer. Something was etched on it. The woman's voice echoed from the hallway. "It's the only reason we haven't put him down." Those words hit me hard. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and aimed it at the tag. If you're reading this, I was loved once. A lump formed in my throat. "Come on, Reggie," I said. "Let's get you out of here." Still, he didn't move. The janitor returned with the keys. "You sure?" she asked. "Yeah," I replied, my eyes still on him. "He's the one." She opened the kennel, and Reggie didn't charge out or cower. He simply stood, slow and creaky, and walked out like someone who understood there was no rush. The hallway was eerily quiet. Even the other dogs were silent. Reggie stood beside me, unmoving. I reached out and rested my hand gently on his head. He didn't pull away. I felt the faintest wag of his tail brush against my ankle. Outside, the winter sunlight was crisp and unforgiving as I opened the passenger door of my truck. "Up you go," I said. He looked at the seat and then at me. I smiled. "You're not heavy. I've carried heavier hearts." He climbed in as if he'd done it 100 times before and curled into a ball. At home, he slowly wandered around the living room, sniffing each corner before finding Rusty's old bed. "You can have it," I told him. I kept it clean. He circled, lay down, and let out a sigh that seemed to carry the weight of years. That night, he didn't make a sound. He just slept. The next morning, I made breakfast, and Reggie sat by the kitchen door, watching but not begging. "You're a polite one," I remarked. Day by day, he followed me from room to room, waiting by the bathroom door and walking perfectly on a leash. One morning, I gave him a proper bath, and beneath the grime, I discovered a coat of warm gold streaked with white. Still not a Reggie. I muttered. The vet estimated he was around 10, maybe older. "He's been through a lot," she said, "but he's as healthy as an old muck can be." He still hadn't barked. One night, I found a tennis ball in Rusty's old toy box. I rolled it across the floor. Reggie watched and then slowly walked over to nudge it back. I laughed. He wagged his tail. We started going to the park. One day, a toddler dropped an ice cream cone and began to cry. Reggie walked over, sat in front of the child, and gently licked the spilled ice cream from the ground. The child stopped crying, and his mom smiled. "He's got good manners," she commented. "He's got a good heart." I replied. That night, I turned over the brass tag again. if you're reading this, I was loved once. You still are. I whispered as he rested his head on my foot. The next morning, I called a shelter and paid for 3 senior dog adoptions in Reggie's honor. Because someone once loved him enough to leave that message. I said, and now it's my turn. The woman on the line paused. We just got a 12-year-old beagle in. No name, no tag. Do you think someone like you will come for him too? I hope so. I said, I really do. So, how did you enjoy the story? If you loved it, don't forget to hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments and pass it on to someone who needs to hear it. And hey, if you want more stories like this, be sure to follow